Good morning, YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle Happy Medium. And as you can see, we are doing things a little bit different this time with the inspiration of spirit and asking how I can get this information better over to you, the general public, the Buddha medium, or those who've just stumbled across my channel. They give me an inspiration and said, Danielle, people need to see not only you talking at them, but also be able to see it visually. So in this video up for topic today, I have to talk about the path that is spiritualism, mediumship, or anything to do with the other side of life, and why it is that that path can be at times very, very lonely. So let me grab my pen. For anybody who's seen me do lives, or have seen me sort of do bits and pieces here on the whiteboard, it's an idea I feel very beneficial, not only for you, but also for my students that I train. But when we talk about the path, so for many people who stumble across mediumship, they normally stumble across mediumship because of three reasons. Now, the three reasons tend to be a near-death experience. You'll have to excuse my handwriting. Near-death experience. There would also be the loss of a loved one. And then also there could also be a connection to the fact that you already have a natural ability for mediumship or for spiritual activities. Now, what I want to say with all three of these are all three quite life-altering changes. And what tends to happen is that when we go through quite a big, what we call life experience, or a change in the comfort zone in which that we live in or have lived in, we then become very aware that we need to change something within our life. Now, as we all know, and for many of us who watch me quite frequently, I talk quite a bit about the fact that we are all down here learning. We are all going through experiences each and every day. And because of them experiences, we will come into contact with one of these three things throughout our lifetime. All of us will have this one in the middle, which is obviously, the loss of a loved one, and that will make us want to search for something more than what we have been experiencing already here to the earth. Now, if you have a near-death experience, this could come down into a car accident, could come down into falling off a set of ladders. It all depends on what that life experience is or what that near-death experience will be. Now, what tends to happen is, again, we may have what we call paralysis, or there may be a shift in the mind. We may lose something that was quite valuable to us, so maybe an arm or an eye, or, whatever it may be. This will also want us to explore why these things may have happened to us and what it is that we're trying to gain from this experience. The last one, which is you're the natural medium. All of us are a natural medium in some capacities. Just some of us will have our experiences earlier on than other people, or other people will experience the spirit world, guides, may become quite psychic abilitied, may have some sort of connection to being able to predict the future, these types of things. We have to have a psychic ability in order to be a medium. So these three things are very important when it comes to the path. Now, all of us are on a journey, each and every one of us in every capacity, and all of us will have to experience lots of different things throughout our lifetime. But if we then move this from the path or to the path of spiritualism, what we will tend to find is most of us will take one of these three, and we will start somewhere out here with the question of why. Now, why is really important because we are by nature inquisitive people. We are inquisitive about the world in which we live in and inquisitive about the things in which that we do. What will then happen is we will start and look for the reason why. And we will start and watch YouTube videos, maybe a bit like mine or other people's. We may start going to spiritualist churches. We may start going all different places or looking for the answer. Now, as we move along that path, this natural ability of your mediumship may open up. So we will then become aware more of the faculties or the particular things in which that we have. Again, also with the near death and the loss of a loved one, we will then want to maybe look at how we can connect to that loved one. So again, it's going to bring us back to mediumship. Also, the near death experience will also bring you back to a place of mediumship. So you are traveling this path, you the individual. Here you are. My drawings are fantastic, by the way. what will happen is that we will start to walk this path. Now, as we walk this path, you as the medium, or you as just the general average person, will change in some way. I hope you can say, I'll say that. We will become less and less tolerant. I'm just going to move that camera just a touch, just so you can see. There we go. So what happens is we become less and less tolerant of the things in which that we used to, because as our mind opens, our thoughts, our beliefs change. The way we once viewed the world before these things alters after these experiences happen. And as we start to look into the likes of spirituals, churches, mediumship, things like that, we become very aware that there is another world or another energy world other than this world in which we live in, which makes us curious to want to know more and more. Now, as you, the person or the medium, starts to move along that path, what happens is we will not tolerate as much as what we used to tolerate before these three things happened. Because when we tolerate all these things, before these things, we don't know any different. It's only as one of these three things happen, or all three things may happen, do we then become aware that things are going to change, or things are changing. We are changing. Grief will change people in every way. Mediumship will, in a way, change your perspective of how you view the world, how the world views you, and how you do your day-to-day tasks within this world. Now, what we have to understand is we also have the other Joe. Now, the other Joe hasn't had any of these experiences, or this Joe doesn't know any different because they have not been aware of these particular things. So what happens is you're trying to work with somebody who doesn't quite get where your mind is. And this is where I talk about the tribe. We all have our own tribes. We will all find our own tribes. We will all find the same people that are like-minded like us. Now, not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody's going to care for you, and not everybody's going to think the same way as you do after these particular things have happened. What will happen is, as you start to walk the journey and as you start to grow more, you start to lose Joe. You will start to lose the job that you once had, because that job doesn't quite fit in with your mindset anymore, or you will look for a job that makes you want to do more with the world. And what happens is as we walk further and further along the path, we lose more and more people. And this can make you feel very lonely. And the reason being is because nobody quite gets you. Now, as you walk that path and as you start to meditate, sit in the power, or just seek knowledge, what happens is that ultimately we will change, we will develop. Now, as we gain more and more of these things, or as we do more and more of these things, we will find that we're not actually lonely. It's that we just value our time more. We value our time, our energy, what we do, and how much we give to the individual, and whether or not Joe here is giving us the same amount. Now, if Joe's not giving you the same amount, you're going to question why it is that Joe isn't putting as much work in as you are, because when we understand the balance of energy and the giving and taking and receiving of energy, and how energy perceives and works, and the relationships we hold, we then come to realize that we're not actually lonely. We have just become more and more tuned to the frequencies of the world, of the psychic ability, of the mediumship, or just of new knowledge that is different from the knowledge you once had. What I would say to people is when you get to this lonely stage, which a lot of people do get here, I've been there, this is where the breakthroughs are about to come. Because what happens is as the breakthroughs come, also with your mediumship as well, you will value your space, your time, and be able to learn more with the spirit world, because when we're lonely and sitting quietly is when we have the biggest breakthroughs in life, in every way, whether you are just the average Joe or whether you are this person who's on this journey. What I will say to people is you're actually never alone. It's just that you are having to shed away stuff that no longer serves you. And what you're sort of doing is holding on to things in this lonely stage. You're holding on to stuff that was once comfortable, was once useful to you, but now is not useful for you at all. And once you accept that you are not lonely, but you are only what we would call, we could use the word upgrading, we could use the word changing, whichever word fits best for you. Here is where you will have the biggest breakthrough and change again, and you will alter again as an individual. This will then allow you to not give a nick about what anybody thinks. You will not give a nick about how people perceive you. And there's a sense of freedom when you get to this stage of loneliness. Most people fear this stage because all around them, everything that they once knew is gone. There's nothing there. There's nothing for the conscious mind to go to because we have nothing here. There's nothing there. The old you has gone. And I speak to people quite readily about the loss of people or the 3 reasons of the path, or that what will happen is ultimately because of it, we will struggle. And the conscious mind will always want to hold on to something it understands. When we accept that this person here is no longer, and that this person is changing into a new person, will you understand that you actually are not lonely at all? You are actually on a change of path of becoming an individual who lives in a world where you do not need lots of things. You only need yourself. And you come at freedom to do as you please without the worrying constraints of other people. For those who are still here, Joe, we wish Joe well. We don't want Joe to be in a bad place. We just understand that Joe's not flying on our high-flying disc. He's not hitting my vibrational matter anymore. So we wish Joe well and we send him on his way, and hopefully one day Joe will be enlightened just like we were. Not everybody will be enlightened because some people's minds will always want to stay where they're comfortable. For you will continue to open up. You will continue to become aware of the world at large and how much influence you're having on the world and how much of the world is influencing you. And when you get to the lonely stage, you realize you can't be influenced. You will stand within your own comfort space and be happy in that space in which that you stand. I hope this has explained the path a little bit to lots and lots of people. Loads of people talk to me about being lonely on mediumship, or when they're on the path of spiritualism, yoga, a loss of a loved one, any of these things here. And you have to understand that it is just a natural progression of you is the human. And when you accept that and understand that, will you understand that the old life you once had is no more, and that you are on a journey of self-discovery and a journey of your mediumship, or just a journey of you as the person. I hope this has helped folks a little bit out there. I certainly maybe need to tidy the handwork up, like but and I will look to maybe change the board round, because I think we're going to need to have the board a different way. But I hope that this has been able for you to get a better understanding of why you feel so lonely, and that understand that being lonely is actually a natural progression of you as the individual, you the medium, or just a part of the path on which that you walk. Remember, every path is different. Everybody's path is different. We will find our own tribes, sometimes not. What you have to understand is when we become fully self-sufficient, we don't really need anybody, because the love comes from within, from the spirit world, because you're not looking for stuff outside of your consciousness. It's already within you, sitting in the power meditation. The loss of people will give you that. A lot of people will not get this or probably won't understand it, but I hope you do understand where I'm trying to go with this. If you like the videos, let me know. I'll certainly upgrade them. It's sort of a rough sort of idea, but we'll see how we go. If people like it, I'll certainly do more of it, and we'll certainly look to do more in-depth stuff here on the whiteboard, so you get a better understanding of mediumship and the path in which that you walk. But I've been Danielle, better known as Danielle, a happy medium. Please do like, share, comment on the video. I certainly value your comments, and hopefully I'll see you all very, very soon.